Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today in this video I'll show you the best practices in HTML, like simply the indentation, which means how well you organize your codes while writing it. I know every developer will learn how to write codes. Some will take less time, some will take more time, but there is a clear difference between being a developer and being a good developer. And I'm sure you always want to be a good developer, right? So in this video, I'll show you how you can have proper indentation while writing your codes, and how you can have proper nesting, and why you should avoid inline styling. And at last, I'll show you why you should always include your alt attribute while writing your code. So without wasting any time further, let's start the video. So your indentation simply tells you how you can give white spaces, or when you can use tabs to give spaces just to organize your codes, right? So let's have the example of a simple code. Let's say you simply have h1 with the heading as, let's say, indentation only. Then again, let's say you simply have a div, and inside the div you simply have a p tag. So now tell me how your code is looking. It's not at all organized, right? So indentation does not decide how your code will look on the web page, but it tells you how well your code reads. So to organize this code, what you can do, you can simply use tab. If you press this tab once, see, it got shifted to its correct place. Then again for div, simply. Then for p tag again, see. And for this closing div tag also, one tab. Now your code is well organized, easier to read as well, and looks good, right? But wait, it's 2025, right? It's the era of extensions, tools, and AI. So who the hell will do this manually, right? So we simply have one extension to organize our codes. So you simply need to go to your extensions and type prettier. See, so with this extension, you can simply format your code. So I already have this extension installed. So let's say instead of this, if I simply have this unorganized code, if you simply press right click and select this option, that is format document. See, instead of manually doing this, our code got organized well. Although you should have idea of how manually you can organize your code as well, because everywhere you will not get your VS Code editor, right? And some interviewer also expects you to have proper formatting of codes, how well you write codes. They also have a look on that as well. So you should always learn to have proper formatting as well. So the next thing that we have is simply your nesting. So it means simply placing your HTML tags inside the other tags, and you should always have proper nesting as well. So let's take example of a simple code again. So let's say again we simply have a div, and inside the div we simply have a p tag. Let's say we have hello world written. So let's say instead of closing your p tag, what you did, you simply closed the div tag. Then again you simply have the span tag, and so on. So as you can see right now we have improper nesting. We simply have our div tag open, then a p tag also open, then again here the div tag got closed, but before closing of the p tag, that is not a good thing. You should always close the tag in the reverse order you opened them. So instead of div closing here, your p tag will get closed here, and your div tag will be simply closed here at the last. So right now in VS Code, I am using one extension that is simply auto closing these tags. You might not have this auto close tags. You would be manually closing the tags. So that's why you should always have proper nesting as well. remember to close the tag in order you opened them. So the next thing that we have is simply your inline styling. So as you already know, so let's say you simply have one h1 with the text as simply, let's say example of inline styling. So to change the color of this heading tag, what you will do, you will simply use style attribute to have inline styling, and you will simply give color, let's say to red. No issues, right? Then again, let's say you will have a p tag, let's say with some text, and again you want to have the color as simply green this time. So you will again go for style attribute, then simply this time we will select color, let's say green simply. So again, no issues, right? But for changing the color of these two lines to red and green, you wrote this much code. So let's say if you will create a website and you will try to have this inline styling, then you might write long codes for each line. You might end up having something like this, which is not a good thing. Having this styling and the HTML code that is your structure in the same page will be quite unmaintainable, right? Your code will not look good at all. And let's suppose you will have some errors with your styling and you need to debug your code. So that time again, you need to look up quite a lengthy code, hectic job, right? So instead of that, you can simply go for external styling. Although you will learn that part in your CSS as well, but for now, I'm only showing you how you can have external styling. So simply inside your head tag, you can simply use link tag with rel is equal to your style sheet, href attribute to simply the name of the external CSS that you have. I already have this file created, that is your style.css simply. Then again, simply pick this h1 with the element name. So right now, don't worry about the styling. Just know that we can also have this styling with the help of external style sheet as well. So simply the same thing, color would be red. See, the same thing, but this time the styling would be separate. Your code will look clean, easier to maintain, easier to debug as well. So you should always avoid inline styling in your projects. Although somewhere you can use, but for most styling, you should always have a separate styling sheet. So the last part would be simply your alt tag, the correct usage of alt tag. So let's say you simply have an image tag. As you know, this tag is used to add images to your web page. So image, let's say src would be, so src would be simply with this link. So see, you got your image, simply no issues. So let's say due to some reason your image haven't got loaded, like your incorrect link or maybe any other reason. So that time what you can do, you can simply use your alt tag, and what you will write inside this tag. So as we have the image of yellow Audi, so what you can do, whatever you will write inside this alt tag, it should be descriptive, right? So this tag is not only for your screen readers, right? It also helps in search engine optimization. So you should always have a descriptive text. So you can simply write yellow color Audi car. And now let's say we have incorrect link. So let's say I simply change this link. Let's say instead of this HTTPS to simply HTT. So see, we got our alt text. That is simply, it shows yellow color Audi car. Quite informative, right? So this way you can use your alt attribute as well. So yes, these were the best practices in HTML that every beginner must know. So I hope you understood about the best practices in HTML in a much better way. So see you all in the next one. Till then, take care.